Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Sloka number 54. Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragnasya Ka Bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadhi Kim Prabhasheta Kimasita Vrajeta Kim. In this second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, Lord Shri Krishna teaching to the Arjuna from 11th shloka onwards up to the 53rd shloka. Lord basically taught two things. One is Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, and another is Karma Yoga. In order to attain the Gnanam and the result of the Gnana Yoga, Gnana Siddhi, the preparatory step is the Karma Yoga. Now, up to this actually, what are the four main topics discussed? The topic which we are going to see today onwards also together, this entire second chapter, this point I mentioned to you in the beginning of this chapter. One is, what is the problem? So knowing the problem is the first thing. What is my problem? And knowing that I am helpless to get out of this problem. So third point is, so definitely I must seek the help from somebody, and then I will get the result. So my problem is solved. So these are the 4 points mainly. Now, to say these same points in another words, samsara, I am suffering with the disease of samsara, and so I need to cure this disease of samsara. Definitely I must go to the doctor who is a guru, and the guru doctor will give the medicine of Shastra or Gnanam to cure this samsara disease. Then I will be all right. My disease will be removed. After my disease gone, what are the healthy symptoms I enjoy? That healthy symptoms only, the Gnana Sthiti, the final beatitude, after one attained the Gnanam, what are the marks or what are the indications that we know that I attained the Gnanam or somebody attained the Gnanam? Now, after listening so much all these things, now Arjuna got a chance to ask a question, doubt. In the 53rd verse, Bhagavan used 2 important words. One is not exactly in the 53rd verse, Samadhi, the word one is used, and Sthasyati Nischala. That means a study. Sthasyati means he abides, he establishes in that. Samadhi means the balanced state of mind. That means in the previous shlokas, the samatvam yoga uchyate yoga karmashu kaushalam. These together, that person is now in the state of samadhi. Samadhi, achala, buddhi. So when one person's intellect gains the balanced state of mind, that state itself is called samadhi, not a trance state as the yoga speaks or the yoga people talks about, closing the eyes or sitting quietly somewhere. No, not that samadhi. Samyak adhi is called samadhi, whose intellect dhi is perfectly balanced, samatvam, while living, while opening the eyes, while interacting with the world. That is more important. By force or the practice, somebody sitting in the samadhi or meditation quietly for some time, and then after getting up, while doing the interactions, again he gets reactions, and while doing the actions, that won't help. So I need a continuous samadhi sthiti, a balanced state of mind. Is it possible? Suppose if anybody attains, as you said, this balanced state of mind, and whose intellect is perfectly abided in the self-knowledge, how to find out such a person? If you give some indicators, then I will also check myself whether I am having any of those qualities in me. Or how to know a person who is a man of steady wisdom. So today's topic is, Arjuna asked now in this 54th shloka. Again from here onwards, it is very, very important portion of the entire Vedanta or the Bhagavad Gita essence. So what is the Arjuna's question? You are telling about the Krishna Keshava sthita prajna sthasyati samadhi and all these things, then samatvam, skill in action. Now once if a person who attained that state, how that such a person can be identified, what others people will talk about him, how they talk about him. So the 4 questions are raised in this particular shloka by Arjuna. This is also called a Sutra Bhuta Shloka, because based on this the Lord is going to give the answer until the end of this chapter. Again, these shlokas are very, very, very important for a Vedantic student. The question number 1, Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha? By what characteristics or the symptoms people will identify, or what people talk about such person? Ka bhasha sthita prajnasya. That means about this person, how he is spoken of by others. Okay? Kim bhashanam vachanam or kathanam asau paraihi bhashyate, by others. Number 1, question number 1. That means what are the characteristics, the traits of the man of steady wisdom? Sthita prajnasya lakshanani. In that one, first, what the people, how he is spoken of by others? Ka bhasha sthita prajnasya. Then the second question is that samadhisthasya sthitadihi. All actually these 3 words we have to bring together. Sthita prajnasya samadhistasya sthitadhihi, because you used all these words in the previous your teaching description. So Arjuna putting all those words here again. So ka bhasha sthita pragnasya samadhistasya sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta. Now one is asked how people will talk about him, what they talk, how they identify him. Now he himself, sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta, how that man of study, wisdom, wise person will speak. How does the wise man speak? Then kim asita, how he sits. I am just giving the general verbal meaning first, but exactly it is not the meaning of it. These are not the casual questions. So kim asita, how he sits. Then kim vrajeta, how he moves. So these are the 4 questions. What people will talk about him, how he is identified and is spoken of by others, and how he speaks when he interacts in the world, whether he interacts or not. So definitely Gnani means need not to be stay alone, lonely in some other hill or forest or cave. Very much Gnani can live in the midst of the people, crowd and the worldly people with doing vyavahara also. So my doubt is that in such a case, how he talks, how he moves and how he sits. So these questions are very important, not a peripherally asked question that how he moves, how he sits, how he talks. Okay, but what is the inner meaning? That means how he use his 3 instruments in spite of living in the world among the worldly people and while doing vyavahara. One is vacha. So we have 3 instruments mainly: manasa, vacha, karmana. So here how he speaks, that means whether he speaks or not, or he sits only silently because Gnani. No, not necessary. He will speak. What he speaks, how he speaks, not only that, how he will have any control on his tongue while eating and talking, or there is any we can see difference in his way of talking and eating. So vacha, that means how he responds to the world, how he responds to the world with his gnanendriyas. Then how he responds, kim vrajeta means how he responds and work and act in this world with his karmendriyas. Because generally in our mind the picture is Gnani means is always will sit like a rock in some place. He never moves, he never breathes, he never eats or eats only little, only he lives on the air. All such kind of yogic performances are not asked here, and that is not the purpose also to explain or anything, because here everything is related depending on the intellectual understanding. After intellectual understanding, there is a total transformation in his behavior with the world, and his inner mind climate also has changed, and he is very comfortably, in spite of all adversities and the advantages, he abides in his own self. Then how is it possible? That means the third question is Kim Asita means on what foundation he is able to live in the world with interactions and the transactions and all that, but in spite of that, how he is able to sit, make his mind to abide and sit in his own self. Or if he suppose he is not doing any interaction, no communication, nothing, is all alone like that, that time how he manages his mind, how he maintains the mind, the quality of the mind, whether he feel bored, whether he feel disgusted, whether he feel depressed. If that is all not there, and he is always with the living in that jnanam, with that jnanam, and how that man talks, behaves, and lives in this world in spite of all the favorable and unfavorable situations. So these are the 4 important questions asked. That means how he conducts himself in this world. Okay, what and how he speaks, how his mind is able to abide, it won't fall for the attractions and the consequences and the situations, without falling from that Gnana-nishtha, how he abides, makes his mind to abide in that knowledge, and how he conducts himself in this world. So these are the questions, very important, sincere questions. Then after listening to the Arjuna's question, Bhagavan started giving the reply. 55th Shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan pardhamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha stita prajnastadochyate. So Bhagavan started giving the reply here. Here we can note down point wise one the characteristics of the man of steady wisdom, sthita pragnasya lakshanani. Here, before going to listen the description of that, yani sthita pragnasya lakshanani tani mumukshoho sadhanani. What are all the characteristics here Bhagavan is going to explain? These characteristics are the traits of the man of steady wisdom. They are the indicators or the sadhanas for us. Are we also interested to gain those qualities of the man of wisdom? And then after, suppose we are already walking on this path, do we have any of these qualities in our personality? So to check ourselves and try to improve ourselves, not to measure or put the marks to somebody whether he is a gnani or not. Do I have some of these qualities? That is more important. So it is a self-checking meter or measuring rod. Okay. So here number 1. Hey Arjuna, Partha, listen. The man of steady, he is called as the Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajnaha tada uchyate. Then only he can call as the Sthita Prajna. Then only means when, yada, when, then. Yada means when, tada, then. So, yada sarvan kaman, sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. Number 1. Whenever the person is able to give up all his desires from his mind, jahati, drops, gives up. Prajahati, prakarshanena jahati, completely given up. Manogatan kaman, the desires which are lingering in the mind, because the desire is belongs to the mind. Mind first desires, then it will start put the sense organs and the organs of actions into function. So kama first and then karma. So prajahati, yada manogatan sarvan kaman prajahati tada. That tada we have to make it. How is it possible to drop all the desires from the mind? Dropping all the desires from the mind means what? If there is no any desire at all in the mind, how the person can live? These kind of doubts will come in our mind generally. Now, before answering all those questions, we must know that giving up all the desires means what? Giving up all the desires means what? Here, about these desires, you should not have any desire at all. Shastra is so rigid like that? No, Shastra never says that you should not have the desire at all. If desire is not at all recommended or suggested, then why the same Shastra has to talk about the dharma, artha, kama? Kama, artha, kamas, the wealth and the fulfillment of the desires, kama, why they have mentioned in the purusharthas? That's why Shastra is never not against to have any wealth or the enjoyments, but your wealth and the way of earning your money and spending and enjoying all these your enjoyments, bhogas, should be based on the dharma. That's why the dharma has kept in the beginning first. So based on dharma you earn and spend and live, artha. Based on dharma you give the some comforts and the pleasures to your senses. Now, to make this point more clear, I will put in this way 3 headings. Shastra allowed desires. Shubha vasanaha, Shubha kamanaha. Whatever Shastra is not allowing, that is called Ashubha kamanaha. So give up the Ashubha kamana, you can have the Shubha kamanas, the prescribed and mentioned by the Shastra, agreed by the Shastra. How to understand this? What does it mean? One is legitimate. Your desires should be legitimate. That itself means dharmika, legitimate. It should not go beyond. So you definitely you can have a married life and you can have the children. So these desires, having desire for food, shelter and clothing is not a adharmic, okay, and legitimate, never illegitimate or illegal, okay, never illegally. You should not try to do either earning artha or enjoying kama. That is called legitimate. Okay, if it is legitimate, in that legitimate also dharmic uh, possession of the money and all that, and enjoying the worldly things, in that also be moderate. Be moderate. Never overindulge. It is allowed by, agreed by the Shastra, so I indulge more. No, there also you would have some moderation. That means what? In the life, this Ardha Kama also should be only particular period and span of your life. For example, the Brahmacharya ashramam, that's why very beautifully the lifespan has divided into Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Grihastha, Sannyasa. So this moderate means, again, after once you are got married and have one or two children, then you have reached the now age of the 40 or 50 and going to be retired, then you must reduce your involvement in the either sexual enjoyments or the any other kinds of pleasures. So like that, some time only, because Shastra allowed, until the death I stick on to that, I will hold on to that. No, not like that. Moderate. Then the third point is your actions and your enjoyments and your involvement, your wealth and the possessions, relations, any of these things, enjoyment should not be a binding activities. They should be, your desires should not bind you. So non-binding desires. So legitimate means dharmic desires, moderate desires, and non-binding desires. Any of your desires should not make you a slave. You should not become an addict to them, and that will make you to suffer. Then not only that, they will slowly instigate you that to go in a adharmic way also. So in this way, understand Prajahati yadha kaman sarvan pardhagavavan means, then it looks like it is told only possible for a sannyasi who renounced everything, no family, nothing, not married and nothing, no possessions, relations. Only for such a sannyasi, if these things are talked of, and that particular one person is only renounced, is praised, then what is the use of teaching this much the Atma Gnana and Karma Yoga, all these things, to a Grihastha? See here the beautiful thing, Krishna, the teacher, also a Grihastha, and Arjuna also is a Grihastha. Who wrote this Mahabharata and this Bhagavad Gita, composed everything, compiled, is also Vyasa Bhagavan, is a Grihastha. Then if it is not meant for the Grihasthas, it is meant for only to the renunciates, then there is no meaning or use for us to listen. But what we say, Bhagavad Gita is for a whole humanity, for the whole universe, for all the times to come. And if these are the values and the knowledge meant for every human being, then definitely the purpose of telling this is, we have to understand carefully. You be as a Grihastha, no problem, but try to transcend slowly from Grihastha to Vanaprastha, and while you are in the grihastha also be moderate, legitimate and non-binding desires you can have. So in this way, if you understand, we won't get any doubt or confusion about it. Now, anyhow, altogether, how is it possible for a person just like that gradually giving up all the desires and come to a non-desired mind? Sarvan kaman manogata. That means gradually, slowly, when you are growing in the age and becoming old and like that, you drop all your attachment word actually Bhagavan is going to tell later, but when there is no when you drop the attachment only, your desires also can be dropped. You cannot simply drop the desires by keeping the attachment. You have to drop the attachment also. Like that, you finally know that now my lifespan, this body is going to live for some time only. Now I am totally fulfilled. There is no any loose ends in my life. There is no any kind of regrets or the sense of regret or sense of guilt. So in this way, a graceful growing in the age and then dropping the body with a complete fulfillment without any, and that time you must able to remember only that you are the Brahman, or you have to remember only the Lord. That is possible at the end of the life only when you practice from now onwards, not otherwise. So here then knowing that you are Brahman, and first of all to give up the worldly desires and pleasures and all that. What is the secret? What is the main clue? How this man of steady wisdom is able to keeps only the whatever is need. Okay, need, desire kills you, need fills you. How it is possible? What is the secret? The second line says, because he discovered the Atmani eva Atmana Tushtaha. He discovered the contentment within himself. Contentment means satisfaction, fulfillment, trupti, trishtaha. How? Atmani eva Atmana. Within himself, by himself. That means he know what is the self. He know what is his real nature. He know what is his real nature. See, we are talking about the life, stages of the life, and the Varna Ashrama Dharmas. Now, to put it in a simple way, this particular thought of Varna Ashrama Dharma, the stages of the life, we can take in a three ways. Generally, people, okay, in the world, first they keep on think what I have, what I have, what I have, what I have. So again, you see, keep on desire and accumulate the name, fame, wealth, all these things, possessions, what I have. But he is a normal and otherwise person. Okay, Ajnani type. But there is a somewhat better mediocre is there. Okay, not that much bad, but little better. Who is he? How I am. How I am. What I have to what I am. Okay. How I am. First thing, how I am. Then still the wisest person, the best person, the Sthita Pragnagani, who am I? What I am exactly. See the difference? What I have. Another person, much better, little improved. how I am, how I am. That means the first person is most materialistic, the second person is religioustic, and the third person is spiritualistic. Spiritualistic. Then real inquiry starts. Who am I? What I am exactly? And this Sritaprajna, Atmani eva Atmanat, he discovered himself what is essential nature. The essential nature is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam Atma Ahamasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Then that Ananda is there. For what I have to crave? Why have crave? Why have run behind this temporary Anatma Vishayas? There is one more point here. Prajahati yada kaman. Now totally 2 points. One is Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. If you put that as the number 1, because of that discovered himself, completeness and fulfillment within himself, he is not it's very easy for him to drop the worldly pleasures. And about these worldly things and possession relations, the Shastra generally tell in 3 technical terms. One is Putreshana, Lokeshana and Vitteshana, or Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana. Yeshana means attachment and desire. That beginning this family to have and children I need, all this Putreshana. And after that you should not get the attachment, get attached to the children. You take care of the children, make them to grow, put them in a proper right path, tell them all good things and support them. That's it. Afterwards, no much attachment to them. So Putreshana. Then Vitteshana. Further, now money, increasing the wealth, increasing more and more and more. I want more, I want more. Without any end for it. And then Lokeshana. No, I am having family, children and money and all that. Now I want the more name and fame. When a person once drops all this kind of attachment and clingingness towards this Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana, still I will put in a simple to English terms, then you will understand. The person who is not having any kind of attraction, attachment and expectation from any kind of possessions and relations. Generally what we say, the possessions relations are wet garbage and the dry garbage. That is the 2 points mentioned here. Then after telling that, such a person is called Sthita Prajna, a Partha. Now listen furthermore from me. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaragabhayakrodhaha Sthitadhirmuniruchyate. Now, this Sthita Prajna, again, if the person having this kind of mentality, this kind of quality mind, then this kind of inner climate in the mind, he is called Sthitadhihi. And Bhagavan added one more word, Munihi Uchyate. Munihi means generally some meanings are sannyasi is called Muni, whoever do the tapas is called Muni, who is a Sarvasanga Parityag is called Muni, who is a Mauni is called Muni, who is sitting silent is called Muni. Here all those different meanings are correct only, but collectively we have to understand. Again here Muni means not a sannyasi. Here Mananath iti Munihi, Mananath, who very well discriminate things and decide what is the Shreyas for me or what is preyas for me. That means what is good for me, what is bad for me. Who can have that discrimination and who have the control on his mind and senses, and that person is called Muni. Maunat Muni, Mananat Muni. And Sthita Prajna is equal to Muni, or Muni is equal to Sthita Prajna. Now listen, what are the trademarks of him? Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha, Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Now we can make this as the third point. Whenever some sorrows and negative situations, disadvantageable situations comes in the life, he never becomes upset. Dukkheshu, particularly in the dukkha, when the sorrow, pain comes, pain, sorrow, pain to the body or pain to the mind, and sorrow in the mind. That time he never becomes udvignamanaha. That means he never becomes depressed. He never becomes dejected. Okay? He never loses his confidence. He never loses the sight of his own essential nature. Dukkhams will come. For everybody, Gnani, in front of the Gnani also, plenty of ups and downs and the favorable, unfavorable situations will come in everybody's life. Remember this, everybody's life, according to their lot. So you cannot expect always favorable things only will come. And we cannot expect and say that always unfavorable. No, they will keep on change and come. So whenever such kind of unfavorable, the painful, miserable situations comes, he never becomes depressed. At the same time, whenever something becomes successful, came in favor of him, and that time also Sukheshu, everything is comfortable, everything is fine. Okay? And Sukheshu, he never again loses his sight of the Atma, the truth. Vigataspruhaha, that means he never loses his balance. Many times in over joy, over happiness also, people will lose the balance. That's why in that happiness and overjoy, many in Purana stories we will see Rajas or those people will do promise. Like Dasharatha did a promise to the Kaikeyi. So these are all the overjoy, the time you will forget that you will promise and you say unnecessarily unwanted. So that also is not good. So he is not overwhelmed by the sukhas, he is not become depressed or dejected by the sorrows. Such a kind of balanced mind. That's why no balanced mind. Then only we can call Sthitadihi Munihi. Now further, three more things Bhagavan telling in the second line, first half. He is a Vita Ragaha. See now, already I am talking about this point. He is a Vita, free from the Raga. Raga means attachment. See, the attachment is different and the love is different. But generally the worldly love is make us to fall into the attachment. But real love doesn't have any attachment. That's why the real love we can call only in the Sanskrit word prema, or it is called bhakti. In bhakti and prema you never fall, you will raise in the bhakti and prema. But a worldly love is because it is an attachment, you will fall. That's why generally in the world people will keep on telling, no, I fell in love with her, I fell in love with him. You fall, no, naturally you got injury. You will suffer. So love is a conditional one. but prema or bhakti is an unconditional one. Anyhow, whatever is available comes in your life provided by the Lord because of your karma phala. You face them, you use them, you be with them. But don't forget that three principles: legitimate, moderate, and non-binding. So, Vita Ragaha, free from the unnecessarily over attachment with anything. With anything you got attachment, that will make you to suffer. Suffering is guarantee. Same way, Vita Raga, Vita Bhayaha, that Vita word we can add to everything. Vita Bhayaha. Bhayam is another big problem. Fear. Fear of so many kinds. Fear about the future. Fear about the present conditions also. Fear about my children and my job. Because everywhere there is always fear psychosis. Whether they increase my salary or not. But outside all the prices are keep on increasing, touching the sky. And my expenses in the family are growing. My people, family, children all are wanting more and more comforts. So fear of something. Okay. Now come to the fear about my own body. This body starts slowly growing and graying, and then it will go. Okay? Growing, graying, and going. If I think about it, I will get frightened, because the body keep on change. It becomes old. Change, decay starts happen. Okay, my hair will start becoming gray. So many problems will come to the body. That is its nature. So, but fear is there, because then I keep on, it should not happen. Then what can I do for it, and what are the things? Then keep on thinking about them only. So it is kind of tension. Fear means not necessarily a big fear. Fear is one kind of emotion necessary for a person. For example, you see you met with a fire accident or anything. You are in that situation. Your fear will come. Fear for what? How to escape and how to run away, whether to fight or flight. Or if you saw a snake, suddenly see a snake, immediately you have to protect yourself, because it is a dangerous one, poisonous one. So that kind of that fear has to come in the mind. That is a naturally kept one kind of a protecting mechanism. But that protecting mechanism is only meant for the dangerous situations. But for us now, everything is a dangerous situation. For example, everything fine, Swamiji, but still I am having a fear in my mind. Why? Because everything is fine. If somebody's eyes falls on this bad eyes, their bad look, drishti paticha. If drishti falls, then what is going to happen? So like that, all the time fear. Fear about our own jatakam, because somebody saw and said, now Shani Dasha is going to start for you, or Rahu Ketu Dasha, whatever. So you have to go through, fear will start. Then we will live with the fear and constantly trying to compensate and do some kind of parihara prashchita. So in this way, drop all the fears. Keep everything in the hands of the Ishvara. Ishvara is the governor who created this world, who created these bodies and the Pancha Mahabhutas, and everybody is taken care of by the Ishvara. Everybody gets according to their own punya papa their lot of sukha dukkhas. Even though we are one family, even though we are life partners, but still my wife, she came with certain set of prarabdha karmas. So her behavior, her swabhava will be different. As a husband, he came with his different swabhava, with his different set of prarabdhas. So his behavior will be different. But still, we will just try to adjust and coexist. So adjusting and coexisting is called the real human life. Then what else you do? Otherwise you will keep on fight. We will keep on fight. That's why we keep on fight with the nature, and we keep on fight with the nature of the people, different people. Why? You observe your nature, you try to change your nature. So here your nature is a fearful or a frightening nature, or your nature is a more you are attached to any of these things. And vita krodha, the third instruction, free from the anger. Anger is the biggest enemy for a person. You have to conquer the anger, very important. This desire and anger, unfulfilled desires only turns into the form of the anger. Unfulfilled desires only will turn into the form of greediness. They are all the different other forms of this kama. So, krodha, vita krodha, because when you become a angry person, whenever the anger comes in your mind, that will burns you. It will eats away your peace of mind. So before the anger burns you, you burnt the anger. Never justify that you are angry because of so and so. Outer situation, outer people, all are may look they are the cause for me to get the anger. But if you really think, okay, that person provoked, that person did like this, then why you have to become angry and you have to lose your coolness of the mind? You told to some your office boy or servant, bring the glass of water. While bringing, he just by mistake left that glass, and the glass has fallen down and broken. Okay, that is his mistake. Then if you become angry for it and shout on him and all that, what? Your blood pressure will increase. So very important. Otherwise, a small silly things also will disturb us and takes away our peace of mind. But this Gnani is free from raga, free from bhaya, and free from krodha. See, these are all the landmarks, these are all the traits of the good person, these are all the traits of the bhakta, these are all the traits of a religious person, these are all the traits of the man of steady wisdom. Only if a man of steady wisdom only should have this. If you are really doing bhakti, if you are really practicing the religious life by proper understanding, that's why many times people do bhakti and all that, practice the religious things all, but they never come to the spiritual side of it. It is like a lopsided body. The polio people, children, you may have seen some people nowadays, many are not getting polio, they are prevented. Polio, generally the legs will be very weak, and the hands and the shoulders are very strong and bulky, because they will keep on use only the upper hands and the shoulders. So their chest and like that, our life will become a lopsided. That means more you are focusing only on the external material prosperity, you may grow in that, but you are fallen down other side spiritually. So here sthita prajna or the balanced state of mind means who is able to balance these two sides of the coin, like the spiritualism and materialism. Both should go together, but which is more important, and which we must take as a primary and drop the secondary. That viveka, discrimination should be there. If it is there, you are the some man of steady wisdom. So sthita prajna, very beautiful indicators. We have to check it, and once if you start checking them, then you will slowly understand, yes, I need to, I am listening to Bhagavad Gita now, I should change myself. Yes, change is happening, I can see, but the change will come gradually. Never be hasty in spiritual path. Everything should happen by overnight. It never. So in this way, next 57th shloka, the Lord says, Yas sarvatranabhisneha tattat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Yes, sarvatran. Yah, that means whatever Bhagavan spoken in the previous shloka is little more expressing in a different way. Okay? Yah. Yah means he, who, about whom you asked and about whom I am talking in the previous shlokas. He. Anabhisneha sarvatra. Towards everything, he will be always unattached. Attachment with detachment, or detachment in attachment. He attached his mind to the self, and he just acts like he is having the attachment with the world, but really speaking, in the heart of the heart is detached only. How? It is like the water drop on the lotus leaf, and the water drop, the lotus leaf tells that, see, I am not at all attached to this droplet of water. How you can say the water drop is on you, it is touching you, it is staying in you, but still the lotus leaf laughs and says, see my dear, even though the water drop is staying on me, resting on me, but still you see, if I move like this, the water drop moves. There is no any trace or touch of the water. How come? I am having a wax of detachment, vairagya on me. Exactly, Gnani also with this vairagya, discrimination, understanding, he very much lives in the world, very much moves in the people, very much he will use the things, objects in the world, but he is never attached really at the heart of the heart. Not only that, moreover, the lotus leaf tells that, see, actually that droplet of water is giving me a beauty. It is shining like a pearl on me. Like that, Gnani, this word is shines in me. It gives more beauty. So I use all my instruments, and these are all the extra bonus beauty to express myself as the Atma. So this is the understanding. Sarvatra. Abhisneha means attachment. Anabhisneha means non-attached, unattached. Sarvatra, everywhere. No, no, no. I attached only to my wife. I attached to only to my husband. Like that, some no mother is attached to sometimes the children boy, or a father attached to the daughter child. So like that, they are attached. I am addicted and attached only to the coffee. Something, anything. But here sarvatra means everywhere and with everything. That sarvatra means not only everywhere, everything. Any time, everywhere, anything. That means desha kala vastutaha, object wise, space wise, and the time wise. I am always detached only. This is his state of mind. Therefore, what is the next? Na abhinandati, na dveshti. He never praises anything, he never abuses anything. Everything is fine. I am not here to judge in this God's creation, this is bad, this is good. That is not my job. Why have to poke my eyes, nose? I have not created that. I have not manufactured. Why I have to worry about it? If because of the eclipse the moon is become so dark, or because of the Paurnami or other normal days the sun moon is shining so much, I won't abuse that grahanam, or I won't praise the full moon, because I have not created it. I don't know why they are happening, let them happen. In that way, na abhinandati, that means na dveshti. About what? Neither he rejoice or he hate. Whenever prapya tat shubha ashubham. Whenever he come into contact with the shubha, favorable, ashubha, unfavorable. Some may praise, some may abuse us. Everybody cannot be praised all the time by all the people. Even Rama has got abused by the people. Krishna has got the abuse. So, praise and abuse, I am not bothered about it. I know what I am. I know what is the truth. Then only this kind of state of mind is possible. Tat various favorable and unfavorable situations when he faces, he never rejoice or he never hate. That's why in Uddhava Gita also Bhagavan Lord Krishna teaches to Uddhava, in this world if you want to live peacefully, I will tell you one secret. Never hate anybody, never abuse anybody. It's a very big Mahavakya. It looks so simple for practice and see, then you will understand. So in this way, Lord telling these are the qualities of. Okay. So Shubha Shubham, then Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. Then only that man's prajna, wisdom is study wisdom, then only we can call Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. Tasya eva harsha vishada varjitasya vivekaja prajna pratishtita bhavati. Where from this steadiness of the mind intellect came to him? Because he is taking all the pairs of complementaries or the opposites in this world, dvandvas, equally. But they are fluctuating always. Why have to allow that fluctuations in my mind, and why have to become disturbed? Ultimately, I want peace of mind. I want the happiness and peace and the security. That's why I discovered my happiness, peace and security within myself. then only he is. So these are all the characteristics and the indications of this man of steady wisdom. Now, before concluding, I will tell you one more simple 3-word formula and then we'll stop. What is it? All together, when we are talking here, you should not have the liking or disliking. Treat everything is equally. Always keep your mind cool, free from the fear, free from the attachment, and free from the anger. If these things are I achieved some extent, yes, I am progressing. How I will know? How I will know? By result. Now you can check it, but still, FIR reduction. I am putting in abbreviation form, FIR reduction. What is F? Stands for frequency. Before I have a lot of attachment. Now after listening to Bhagavad Gita and all that, my attachment towards many things have reduced. Frequency means the amount, number of times. Before I used to get anger occasionally. I am a very short-tempered person, sir. But now the frequency, the number of times attack of anger is reduced. So frequency reduction. And before I used to get I used to get frightened by small things. But now I am able to withstand very rarely sometimes, because it is old habit, it takes time to go. So frequency has reduced in all these things, and the same time intensity also reduced. Intensity. Before, if I get anger, it is so intense, very intense. Now also anger is coming, but it is very mild. I know before that itself anger is going to come. I am getting angry now. I'm going to become angry. Anger is coming. Before I used to break and throw the things when I become angry. But now also I am feeling like throwing, but I am controlling. Good, change is there. Intensity of these negative emotions are drastically has come down. Then third word, R, stands for recovery time. Before, sir, if I become angry, it will stay for hours and days, weeks. Now my anger subsides and very quickly, because in the world there are people, that's why, whose anger kshanakopam, only few seconds, muhurta kalam, very little time, then he is a good person, best person. And whose anger stay for 1 week, 1 month, or like that, and then it will go. Anger, not only anger, everything. Just for example, we are taking anger. Then there is second category. Then lowest and worst category, ajanmantam kopishtaha. He never forget, he never forgive, he will keep in the mind and he challenges. Until my death, I am not going to talk to you. Until my death, I never climb your steps of your house. Like that, strong individuality. And this is too dangerous. There are people like that. It's not only cinema or TV dialogue. People, they cannot forgive, they cannot forget. The one important principle in the spiritual life, my dear friends, listen, final word. More you learn to forgive and forget, that much you are at peace. You are abided in yourself. Learn. You are not going to lose anything, but generally we justify, If I forget and if I forgive, my prestige, my ahankara. That means if you are not able to forgive and forget, you are a strongest egoistic person. Remember this. More we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat.